Hi guys, there's a brand new gaming license that actually launched in April 2025. I haven't chatted about it yet. I've seen a little bit on YouTube about it and I thought I would produce some content on this myself. It's already turning heads across the entire gaming industry. And again, it's faster than Curacao, it's cheaper than Malta, it's crypto friendly out the box. So let me introduce to you the Nevis gaming license, okay? So what's going on, everyone? I am Will from HPT Group, and we have entrepreneurs, set up companies, get a license, build international business structures. Now, if you are in the iGaming space, whether you're running an online casino, a sportsbook, a poker platform, or a B2B provider, you know the license landscape has been messy very lately. Curaçao's tightening up, Malta's expensive, Isle of Man's had reputational issues, and the budget options like Anjouan aren't really credible, really, as we speak about today. So, enter Nevis. Let me break down this new Nevis iGaming license. Sorry, Nevis, same, right? So, firstly, the basics. In April 2025, top of my head, they introduced this into their new laws. The Nevis Island Assembly passed the Nevis Online iGaming Gaming Act, whatever it's called, right? And this created a brand new regulatory framework for iGaming operators over in Nevis again, and don't confuse it with the older St. Kitts regime. That's a completely different topic, right? So Noga was built from scratch with modern iGaming in mind. They basically looked at what works in Malta, what works in the Isle of Man, stripped out the bureaucracy and the excessive costs, and created something generally competitive. The result is a license positioning itself as a tier 1 quality at a fraction of a tier 1 price. So what can you actually do with a Nevis license for iGaming? Basically everything. It covers online casino, live dealer games, sports betting, esports, poker, bingo, lottery, instant win games, and scratch cards, okay? All under a single license. Compare that to jurisdictions where you need separate endorsements or multiple applications for each vertical. In Nevis, one license, all verticals. Very simple. Now, they have a separate B2B license for software providers, platform providers, white label solutions, payment processors, and game studios. Whether you are operating directly or indirectly to consumers or to businesses, or providing the infrastructure to other operators, there is always a pass with Nevis, and that is why it is, I would say, tier 1. Okay, so let's talk about money. Okay, this is where it really shines. The annual license fee is around £30,000, right? Top of my, I think 28,000, right? And again, that's just the application fee. Then there's an annual fee that can exceed about 25k plus GGR tax that ranges from 1.25 to like 5%, depending on your game type. All in, you're easily spending, 80k to 100k euros in a year. Sorry, that's like Malta. These locations here. Now, Isle of Man, similar story, 35k, 50k. Ongoing fees are massive. You're looking at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, pounds, euros being spent at this. So, Nevis, flat regime. No gaming tax, no corporate tax, no tax on foreign sourced income, no capital gains tax, and it's generally a tax neutral offshore location, right? And again, it comes at a fraction of that cost. It is extremely affordable. Now, compare us to Malta, as I just mentioned, the prices there, Isle of Man, Gibraltar, potentially, XYZ, these are very common jurisdictions for onshore iGaming licenses. When we compare us to a UKGC, it's just, ridiculous, number 1, compliance, bureaucracy, and number 3, costs on across all the board right there. So, what is actually required to even set up one of these? Okay, so company formation, number 1. The second is the key person documents. Number 3 is a solid business plan. Number 4 is the compliance documentation. And number 5 is the technical requirements. This obviously needs to meet NOGA's standards. So the license is called NOGA. And that includes an RNG certification where applicable, secure payment processing, and proper data protection. Is it easy? No, it still has requirements. But again, we are here to help you obviously get these licenses. Now, it is crypto friendly, which is a fantastic. The regulatory framework permits cryptocurrency transactions. You can accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, other types of cryptocurrencies without regulatory uncertainty you'd face in many other jurisdictions, right? So that is very key here. You still need proper AML, KYC procedures for crypto transactions. It isn't a free pass, right? However, it is a very throughout great license to be getting for an online crypto casino, okay? So in terms of credibility, you're probably thinking, okay, this doesn't sound like a very credible solution. We're over in Nevis, right? I know this for a trust or, an offshore company, for example. Now, it sounds too good to be true. This is another dodgy offshore license. It's a little bit different. It is FATF, FATF compliant. It is not only FATF grey list or blacklist. This matters enormously for banking relationships and payment processor access. The jurisdiction itself requires proper AML and KYC implementation, of course, responsible gaming programs, self-exclusion tools, XYZ, as we would see with any iGaming license. But NOGA requires operators to geo-block certain jurisdictions. You can't target players in the US, the UK, France, Germany, Australia, the Netherlands, XYZ. This is a sign of a serious regulator. They're not trying to let operators run wild, if that makes sense. The whole point of the 2025 issuance of this was to upgrade Nevis's reputation in the gaming space, to be seen as a legitimate place to have your iGaming company. So let's think how this would actually work with banking and payment processing. So there's a lot of, I obviously deal with banking as well, and I see this is where a lot of the iGaming operators and online casinos do fall down. You get the license, but you can't get a bank account, and payment processors don't work. Nevis is positioning itself to solve this problem, okay, because of a little bit more heavy compliance compared to Anjouan, Curacao, right? It is easy to walk into some of these fintechs. Does that mean you can get a HSBC bank in Hong Kong for it? Absolutely not. But compared to Curaçao's legacy issues, Anjouan's reputational problem, Nevis is a much better starting point for payment conversations. The jurisdiction has also seen, again, very strong interest from Asian operators, B2B providers who are early adopters, similar to what happened with Curaçao 10 years ago. So this is an opportunity right now. How people used to set up these online casinos. This is the new one right now. So who is this for? Again, new operators who want to launch quickly without the 6 months deadline and the huge upfront costs that we see in Malta. Existing Curaçao, Anjouan operators, again, who are concerned about the locked transition and want a clean alternative. B2B providers, platforms, game studios, payment solutions, you need a credible license just to work with other operators. Crypto-focused gaming projects need, essentially regulatory clarity around the cryptocurrency transactions, and this is a fantastic license for that one right there. Additionally, we can also see operators targeting emerging markets in Latin America, Africa, Asia, where tier 1 European licenses isn't necessary, but credibility still matters, if that makes sense. And frankly, who's actually tired of paying Malta prices for Malta bureaucracy and doesn't want to compromise regulatory quality? Those are the types of clients that we would be looking for who would be interested in this type of solution. So would you look elsewhere? If you need to target the UK market and get a UK GC, that's a UK gambling commission license, Nevis won't help you there. If you're targeting EU markets, again, you'll need the Malta one. If you need an absolute gold standard reputation for institutional investors, IPO Malta still carries, obviously, the #1 spot right there. But if your business model relies on operating in restricted territories, then Nevis is going to be blocking you again. So that's a non-starter. Okay, so the bottom line here is I think it's a very well-designed license that fills a real gap in the market. It's not perfect, no licenses, but it offers 8 to 12 weeks versus 3 to 6 months, about 30,000 setup costs, one license for all gaming verticals, built-in support from day one, especially with the cryptocurrency, and it is very credible with the FATF compliant, proper oversight, and building a serious reputation. So for the right operator or a right provider here, it is a complete no-brainer. So if you are exploring a gaming license or any other jurisdiction, again, just apply to become a client today. We can book in a consultation and we can see what you would like, essentially. We usually reach out to our clients within 48 hours. And again, drop a comment if you have any questions or you want me to go into any more topics. And of course, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.